if you're remaining sane during this time, many of you, I'm sure, do the Medicare Advantage enrollment, and of course that is timed perfectly for the ramp up of the open enrollment for individual health. Let me see. All right, so hopefully you can see my screen and you can hear me. Today is Thursday, October 16th. Again, thank you so much for joining us weekly. We have quite a bit to talk about. First and foremost, I do want to bring everybody up to date, as I'm hoping to do weekly, on the web broker and enrollment portal. As mentioned previously throughout the past weeks, we will have a solution. We actually may have more than one solution. And currently, as many of you know, we are approved as a web broker, and we're working with EBIX, formerly Health Connect, to build the system. They, behind the scenes, we are working as a liaison with the carriers to have the carriers get the rates to EBIX prior to the 11/15 opening. And just as a status update, CAP Blue Cross, Health America, Aetna, all the plans and rates for 2015 have been received and loaded and tested and approved by the carrier. Capital has been tested and approved by the carrier. Health America and Aetna are preparing for testing, but they do have the rates. Geisinger, they have committed to providing the information, but the information has not yet been received. And then there are a few of the other carriers that are still pending the commitment. But again, we're going to have solutions. There are a lot of solutions coming out within the marketplace, so try to be patient. They're all over the board as far as pricing. We're going to try to not only offer the best solution for on and off exchange enrollment, but also at a price point that's affordable to all of you. So keep watching for those details. The next item on the agenda is actually an apology, because if any of you read last week's health insurance reform newsletter, there was information that was out about Highmark Blue Shield 2015 group products. When you load or clicked on the link, it was Capital Blue Cross, of course. So hopefully I'm not going to get any police coming to me for any branding infractions, but the information was corrected, and in the newsletter from last week, and a separate blast, you will see the Cat Blue Cross 2015 group products. So hopefully that's helpful to you. I wanted to bring you up to date on the renewal process and what we know at this point. And again, this is in transition. Some carriers have come forward with a plan and others have not. But I wanted to address just quickly for FFM enrollment. Your consumers that have enrolled in the FFM, they are going to have until December 15th to choose another plan. Or they're going to be auto-enrolled, auto-renewed on the same plan unless the plan is retired. Now, the only caution I have to tell you is that I know, and you know, how consumers are last minute. They were, at least for the 2014 enrollment, and my fear is that many plans are not retiring. So if your clients do not do anything by the 15th of December, they're going to auto-renew in the same plan that they have, and that would include any rate increase that would be filed. If the plan retires, it's going to, and it's still available outside of the FFM, which I don't see as likely in Pennsylvania, but if it is, the consumer will automatically be enrolled on the plan outside the exchange, and it's still, we're still trying to find out what that does to the subsidy. If the consumer chooses chose to allow HHS to access their tax records for more than a year, then they don't need to change income information unless it's drastically changed, but they would keep their same 2014 subsidy. So what I'm trying to find out as well, and of course there are very little answers out there, but I'm not sure how a 2014 subsidy is going to really help for 2015 rates and how that's going to work. So again, we're still trying to find out this information. If a plan that was on the FFM is canceled altogether, then they're going to automatically be enrolled in a plan of the same metal level, same carrier, and similar benefits. So I'm also trying to find out if, just like last year, the consumer had the ability to change plans within the annual election period, but any plan change would be for the following month. So again, these things I'm still trying to find out, and there are not a lot of answers out there, but that's what I know at this point for on-exchange renewal. For off-exchange, I do have some information. Independence Blue Cross is going to be auto-renewing their consumers for an ACA plan with the agent's NPN into the same plan. Cap Blue Cross, they are only keeping 2 of their 2014 plans. So if you had a client that enrolled with Cap Blue Cross on an ACA plan and it's retired, they would be required to actually reapply for another plan and reapply for coverage. For the people that have the plans that are remaining, they're going to be auto-renewed. UPMC is going to auto-renew in the same plan. And just as a note, they are allowing existing non-ACA plans to stay in force, so they are grandmothering. And more details will be coming out in November about that. Highmark's going to also auto-renew and auto-enroll into the same plans. They are not retiring any of their plans. They are offering additional plans. And Geisinger, we're still outstanding, but it does appear that information is going to be coming out in November about auto-enrollment for January. So, you know, we'll keep you as informed as we possibly can, but this information is slow in coming out. So that's what we know so far. I did read an article that in 2017, the FFM health carriers are going to have star ratings similar to the Medicare Advantage plans that are out there now. So I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it will maybe steer people to an appropriate carrier based on their personal needs for service, claims payment, etc. So keep watching for more details on that. Rates for the plans that are being terminated, the non-ACA plans for Highmark, Health America, NEPA, they are going to be sending out renewal information on 11/1 to the non-ACA consumers, and their renewal is going to include rates and options for 2015. So the reason I put this in there is if any of you see those or get a hold of any of them for any of the consumers that have received them as of 11/1, forward them to me if you can, please. I'd like to try to be proactive, and hopefully we can get information as it comes out. We also, let me see here if I can get back in. We also developed a 2015, there it is, 2015 Health Insurance What You Need to Know, and this has been updated to include the increased tax penalty of 2% this year. It has the information on the 2015 federal poverty level, also has a separate block for states that have expanded Medicaid, and Pennsylvania is one of them. So if you would like this information, please just let me know. You can brand it. You can put your logo, on your letterhead. So it is a nice handout for your clients, and hopefully will create conversation. And let's see, FFM reporting. Let me go back here again. FFM reporting, I've been promising you we're going to have a system that would allow us to be more proactive in identifying FFM cases, and not only that, but identifying when it's been a long time or too long that you did not receive commission. So this is going to be coming out. It is going to be secure, and when you do an FFM enrollment, you would just simply type in your name, first name, last, your email, client's first name, last name, the insurance carrier. It will have a drop-down box, date of birth, and social. We would need this information to verify and find out any information from the carrier, effective date, and then also the ability to upload that copy of the FFM application. So we think it's really going to help everybody get paid commissions more quickly and get paid commissions in general. So again, keep watching for that. We're going to be releasing that shortly. And let's see what else we have. As many of you are working on 12/1 renewals for those groups that took the 12/1 early renewal last year, of course, they're going to have options, as we've discussed before, to keep their same plan, the non-ACA plan, move to a non-ACA in the same family of plans, or transition to an ACA plan, whether that means shop or not. But I did want to caution you, in the 50+, if you do have a group that has discussed dissolving group coverage and they are over 50, there is the employer mandate transitional release for the 50 to 99, that they don't really have to be compliant for 2015. But if you have a 50+ group that is dissolving coverage or reducing its work size to get below the 50, then all bets are off. They would then be subject to the employer mandate and any penalties that would be assessed. So I just wanted you to be mindful of that. It's not as easy as saying, yep, we're just going to drop coverage, because there could be ramifications. Next bullet point is about our extended hours. Of course, November 15th happens to be a Saturday, so we are going to be working. We're going to be here to answer questions, hopefully help you through the first day of enrollment, because I suspect with it being a Saturday, there will be a lot of consumers logging onto the system and having a lot of questions. So myself and my staff will be working on Saturday, November 15th from 10 to 2. And will be available for any questions or any assistance that you may need. And we also will be extending our hours and other key dates, so we will be getting that information out to you. But just please know that we're here for you. We're going to work as hard as we can to make sure that you have somebody to shoot questions over to and assist you as much as possible. So I wanted to pass that on. And authorizations on the FFM. As many of you know that have done FFM enrollment, they initially have the ability to choose to give you, as their agent or anyone else, authorization to talk directly to the health insurance marketplace on their behalf. Originally it was for 14 days. Then it was extended up to a period of 365 days. Well, I've always said beware of enhancements and upgrades to systems, because what has happened due to the enhancements that healthcare.gov is implementing, all of the authorizations have been lost. Now, for some of you, that's not that big of a deal, because quite frankly, when you call in, they can't seem to find them anyway. But for those of you that have really gone above and beyond and made sure that those authorizations were updated for the 2015 enrollment period, unfortunately, they have been lost. And I don't think you're going to read that in the news anywhere, but that's what we've been told. And unfortunately, that impacts all of us. So at this point, that's really all I have on the agenda. I do have some questions, so please feel free to ask the questions, type them into the question box, and we'll get started and hopefully be able to answer your questions. Ed has asked the question that I can't answer, and I will have to find out. His question is, in the group environment and individual environment as well, how is it handled if someone is issued as a smoker and then quits? Will the carrier change the rate to non-smoker, or is there a time frame that must be met to be considered a non-smoker? And Ed, I'm not certain of that, and I'll follow up for next week and get that answer. Typically, in the olden days, it was that they had to be tobacco-free for 12 months, but because the tobacco use or smoker parameters have changed, I'd like to verify that for both group and individual coverage, and I will let you know. And Tracy asked if URL is going to get appointed with United Healthcare Golden Rule and Aetna under 65 markets so that we can write under URL. We're already a general agency for Aetna, Tracy, so we do have that. On the under 65 individual market, the product is only available in the 5-county Philly area and Lehigh and Northampton. So we are already appointed and as a general agency. And as far as the small group, we will be appointed as a general agency for Aetna for 2015. So that is something that we can offer. United Health One, we are appointed. We are working on a solution right now to to offer to our agent partners. But yes, we're appointed, and more information on that will be coming. And Tracy also says, URL health options tracking system, do we only add new clients or even old clients that auto-renew in their plans? What about clients that we move over to a different carrier? That's a really good question, Tracy, and I would say we would, for those that are renewing same carrier, that shouldn't be an issue as long as you're receiving commissions currently and established as the agent of record. And if they're changing to another carrier, then I would say we upload. But I'll get more details on that as well. And Abby says, for those enrolled in off-exchange plans, what will the process look like if they want to switch plans for 2015? And that, I think, is going to be relatively easy and similar to what all of us have experienced. And what they would have to do is complete an application, for the same carrier or a different carrier, and then terminate their current plan. So, and it has to be done within open enrollment. Again, we're going to get more details on the exact process, but at this point, there's very little information available as carriers are working through their rate filings and getting their systems up and running. Tracy says, FYI, the new application that was loaded a few days ago did not work either. No applications were transmitted over to the carrier, so you need to go back in and resubmit them over to the carrier again. Isn't that nice? So upgrades, again, beware of upgrades. If any of you have done any FFM special election periods within the last few days, you may want to verify with your case manager the name of your case, again, social, date of birth, so that we can verify earlier rather than later if the carrier has received them. Kim says, did I hear you say CBC will auto-renew with agent ID? Is that the same for Highmark? You heard me say that with independents, and I suspect that all the carriers are going to, just as they do now, maintain you as the agent of record, but independents have come out specifically and said for off-exchange, they're going to auto-renew for January 1st under the same NPN number. And again, I suspect that's how most carriers will work, but again, we'll have to wait till closer to November 15th. And Jay says that he would like Jay would like a copy of what you need to know. I'll get that out to you, Jay. And Joe says, how valuable do you think SHOP is going to be? Do you think it will be a good option? And Joe, I don't know. I don't know that it's not going to be any different than it is now. Very few plans look attractive. Very few groups really even qualify for the small business tax credit. So, you know, the answer truly is I just don't know. And what the best way to do it is to not only get group rates from us, but when you're asking for group rates for a new group, also ask for shop rates, and we can compare and contrast what that would mean as far as what they're giving up in premium to get that tax credit. So again, we'll work through that. I do know that some carriers have come forward and said that they're not offering group plans on the shop. Geisinger is one of them. They will not have any shop options for 2015. On the other hand, I believe Blue Cross of Northeastern PA will have 107. So you know, again, it's going to be a mix and match, but most carriers should have a present on the shop, and we'll just work through each carrier and each group as it comes in. John also wants a copy of the What You Need to Know. So it does look like the questions are closing down, not too many more coming in. If you do have a question and you want to type that in or raise your hand, please do that at this time. And I'll just you know, end as I always do, thanking you for your business, thanking you for your partnership, and just with a note that I know that the next few weeks it's going to be pretty hectic for all of us, and we're just please know that we're here to help you. And as soon as we get any information at all on the carriers' plans and rates, we will absolutely get those out. In fact, on our website, you're going to see, as we get them loaded, and it's going to be a separate section. Right now we have 2014 public and private exchange options, so we will now add 15, so you also have access to the 14. Hope that makes sense, but again, we're here to help, and thank you everyone for joining in. Our next webinar is next Thursday, October 23rd. Hope you can join us, and I will follow up next week with those questions about smokers. So enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week, and have a great weekend. Thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.